Welcome everybody, this is Brother Mint here. Today we're going to talk about another Oracle mystery. This is going to be the Life Mystery build. We're going to make ourselves a ranged healer, and I'll show you what that means here in a moment. But I've already pre-leveled this one up to 20, got gear on her, or him, can't remember if it's a guy or girl now. But, solid character. It's not my best work, I'd say, just to be honest. But she will do what she needs to as far as healing for the team. Now, first, before we start this part, I really do need to apologize on something. I made an error earlier when I was looking at the Oracle class. I had previously said in the intro to the Oracles that only the Oracle, the true Oracle, gets free spells on level up. If you have a favorite class, turns out that's a mistake. The limitation for that was you cannot, well, you have to be, let's put it this way, it's easier. You have to be a human, you have to be a half-elf, a half-orc, Aasimar, or a tiefling. Basically anything that came from human stock. And if that's your race, then when you level up, when you finally get to level 4, as any kind of oracle, you'll have the ability to pick free spells instead of hit points or skill points. So, just put that out there. Again, that's my bad. I should have just read the pop-up tooltip. If you literally just hover over the free spell pick that's read out, you could literally put your cursor over it and it will literally tell you, oh, you're not this race, and as such, you don't get this. So that's my mistake. That's also, by the way, why it didn't work for the Ancient Lore Keeper, because remember, they have to be elves, so they don't get that access. But that's okay. They got plenty going for them, as you'll see here before too long. Now let's actually show you our character here. This is our ranged healer. She's, like I said, kitted out with gear, but to talk about her a little bit here. We literally have a strength of 10. We have not invested in it one whit. Everything that you're seeing here comes from buffs, gear, or some kind of increase of some other kind. You see the inherent +2 coming from Bakken's potion, for instance. The belt, +8, sacred bonus to strength from Eagle Soul, an amazing spell. You have to be good to use it effectively. Frightful aspect, a size bonus for basically being big and mean and scary looking. And again, while I don't particularly care about being big, mean, and scary looking, since I'm not meleeing with this character, I do appreciate the fact that it has a fear aura, and the fact that I get a bonus to my strength bonus here, as well as a con bonus, as you see here as well. Notice our dexterity is being buffed a few different ways as well. You know, we have a ring of circumstances on, of course. Belt, of course, giving us a +8 to strength, dex, and con. Bakken's potion kicked in, and I'm using, a ranged weapon called the Hunter's Blessing. Now, this little bad boy here is one of the few weapons out there that gives a bonus to dexterity that's not an enhancement bonus to dexterity. There's like one other piece of gear out there that does this. And I want to say instead of a sacred bonus, it's a morale bonus, like a +2. And it's the Carefree Hunter, I think is what it's called. It is literally a sling staff. So something that a halfling would use to throw stones, for instance. Again, you could use that. It's a ranged build too. But it's only a +2 versus this +4, and I'm happy to take the +4. That doesn't mean this is the only weapon I'm going to use, obviously, and you don't get this one early. So again, this is pie in the sky dreaming, but you have a variety of longbows and composite longbows as you level up. Now, because of the fact we could not go elf, which is a real drag, by the way, because I wanted those free spells, we did not get access to bows for free. We had to literally invest in that, so that's going to be part of our problem here for this class. Now let's actually show you, of course, what the Life Mystery has to offer. Free spell wise, you have Remove Sickness, who cares, Lesser Restoration, that's useful. Neutralize Poison, again, who cares, you'll make them immune to poison with Delay Poison if you're smart. Restoration, again, something you want anyway. Breath of Life, again, keep your teammates off the ground after they hit the ground. Heal, a nice spell, and again, the ability to cast that at range is going to be extremely useful, as you'll see in a bit. Greater Restoration, and again, you got all 3 restorations then as you level up. Mass Heal, AoE, amazing spell. Again, can heal bad guys too, so be real careful with this shit. But I'd use this one probably more after the fight's over. Just lump up the team, cast this once, and poof, everyone gets like massive health bumps. As well as curing all kinds of other stuff as well. Notice, this is one of the only ones that actually gets access to Miracle, which is freaking sweet. I don't even think I can get this as I level up naturally. I can get Lesser Miracle, but I don't think Miracle is ever in our spell books. I could be wrong on that, but I don't remember ever seeing this until now. So this is awesome, and this is a bigger, better version, obviously, of Lesser Miracle. So we have access to basically any cleric spell level 8 on down, any other spell level 7 on down. So again, this really opens up a world of cool, in my opinion, for this particular build. Notice we have for our final revelation, you become a perfect channel for life energy. We're immune to bleed, death effects, literally the death spells type stuff, exhaustion, fatigue, nausea, negative levels, and sickened effects. Ability damage and drain cannot reduce you below 1 in any ability score, so they can't kill you from taking you down to 0 or negative levels in like strength or dex or con or something like that, and literally kill you that way. So that's helpful. And again, you'll have spells that prevent you from getting ability drain or ability damage as well anyway. But that's a solid boon. I decided to go for a curse for tongues. Why? It's not that there's one over another that's more appealing. I did like what tongues had to offer, which was basically nothing more than a continuous boost to knowledge world. So we get a +2 at the very start, then it goes up to another +2, then it gets a +4, and then finally finishes off with another +4. And that's all it really does. I mean, there is supposedly some communications issues with you and your team, unless they all have knowledge world, at least 1 point invested in it, which is easy enough to get. I don't know that actually impacts you in the game, because I've always taken this character in solo. But I still like the idea that this character was going to finish with a knowledge world ability that's just through the goddamn roof. I even have a bonus thanks to a ring I'm wearing, as well as excuse me, my higher intelligence from the gear I'm wearing. So again, the herbalist cape, excuse me, in this case, giving me a bonus to my intelligence. So pushing that up just a couple points higher is extremely helpful for me. I notice our Lord Nature is decent, nothing in Knowledge Arcana. We had no skill in it, and therefore I didn't invest in it at all. Lore Religion, we got enough in it to be worthwhile. I don't think this is going to be an amazing stat for you, but again, kind of on you. Notice again our Lord Nature is getting a boon thanks to that Herbalist Cape. So any gear that gives you bonuses to Lord Nature, Lore Religion, Knowledge World is something you probably want to keep in your pack. Persuasion, maxed it out for obvious reasons. You are the face of the team. Athletics, didn't put anything in it. So this is bad. A 1 point investment in it, and again, it's a class skill, so we get a little +3 as well. And you really have nothing else going for you, except for the fact that you have a 10 for strength at the beginning, which means nothing, because it's no bonus at all. So you literally have a 4 in athletics for the longest time. But notice, with just a couple applications of our powers, of our spells, we literally have ridiculous amount of bonuses to strength and this skill as well, like Divine Power kicking is a luck bonus. So we're doing okay, only when we pre-buff up, obviously. Notice that mobility, again, 3 ranks in it, and that's a staple for me. I almost always do this in case I ever have to fight defensively. So you get that extra armor class. It's nothing really fancy about it. And this also reminds me then, again, if I have done this properly, that I can always swap out 20th level Oracle for like a 1 level Monk Dip. So again, if you want to be extra tough, you can go that route. But I would not monk it up with a bow in my hand. I'd probably switch back to something like a Sai or a Kama, something like that. Or hell, maybe just punch him in the face a lot. Up to you. Perception, maxed it out though, of course. And our wisdom is kind of garbage. We'll talk about our abilities here in a moment. Nothing in stealth, except for what we just get from natural use of it. Thank God you don't have to be trained in it, because we have actually a +10 right now as a result of all our stuff. Should have been a 14, but we have a size penalty, because we're bigger, it's harder to be stealthy. Which I do appreciate that they actually did this in this game. This is something that Neverwinter Nights always did wrong, in my opinion, where people did the hips move, is what they would call it, the hide in plain sight. Everyone would do like a monk, or a rogue level dip, or a arcane trickster, or something similar, kind of assassin level dip in it, where you would get hips, hide in plain sight ability. So they would get attack, and then immediately hide in plain sight, and they would change into like a giant dragon form and do this bullshit, where they're suddenly, like the size of your house, but they're like, I attack you, I'm not here. And it's like, what the hell is that bullshit? So I never liked that. So I'm a fan that this game actually has penalties when you're big, bonuses, of course, when you're small. Notice we have not invested in trickery at all, which means we cannot use this +14 you're seeing here. You have to be trained in it. So I didn't put 1 point in it. You may change your mind on that and totally put a point in there. We're doing okay, and then mostly it's because our dexterity is like through the goddamn roof. But there's plenty of other people on the team, and this is, let's be honest, a team build. Use magic device, enough in it to be worthwhile. Our charisma, of course, is really pushing us up and over. It did not get class skill in it, and as such we did not invest heavily in it beyond enough just to make it worthwhile. Other than that, though, let's talk about our stats. We started off with a strength of 10, dex was 18, we had a con of 10, we had an intelligence of 12, We had a wisdom of 8, and that's the reason that we were able to get our dex to 18. And of course, our charisma, I believe, was. Wait a minute, hold on a second here. No, sorry, our wisdom was 7, and our charisma was. Where's it at? 18 as well. So basically 10, 18, 10, 12, 7, 18. 1 point in wisdom just to level it off at 8, so it's not as bad as the penalty. And then all 4 points went into charisma from that point on, so pushing it up to a 22 by the end of the build. So notice the base value of 20 and the racial bonus for being a human plus 2. That's why it's 22. And again, everything else is coming from buffs and whatnot. So we're doing fine. It's not the best charisma I could have given you, but I'd rather have just the tiniest bit more dexterity. So that was my logic on that one. Notice we talk about life mystery. We should talk about, of course, all the cool stuff that you had access to. Not only do we get a green check next to athletics and Lord Nature, but we have all these revelations that we can get 6 of them, and of course picked up 1 or 2 more as we went along. Channel energy being one of the first. Highly recommend you grab it at level 1. AoE heal you and your team, as well as AoE damage undead. Of course, because you're going to do this, and again, you're a good person, so you're taking cure light wounds versus the damaging ones, you probably want to make sure that any undead like Jathal on your team isn't hurt by this. So you're going to want to get selective channeling, which of course we did pick up. I didn't pick it up at level 1, kind of pushed it back a little bit, but level 3 is easy enough to get in the game. I didn't feel too bad about grabbing it later. Combat healer. Oops. Combat healer is this guy right here. This is a nice one in that literally allows you to use your heal spells as a swift action, but it burns up 2 spell slots. Now there was a trick the other day that I did this, and we'll have to retest it to prove it to ourselves, but for some reason if I meta magic that spell and do this, it doesn't use up 2 spell slots, it uses up 1. So we have to check this to make sure this is not something weird going on here, because if that's true, then you definitely want to meta magic every damn heal spell you have, which I have done because I've actually grabbed meta magic extend so that reach, so that we can shoot our heal spells. The cure lights, the cure moderates, serious, as well as cure criticals are all melee touch attacks normally. I meta magic them so I could specifically bump them up a level. So at level 1 it becomes a level 2 spell, level 2 spell becomes level 3, you get the idea. But I can shoot them at a distance, so I can still keep it ranged with my bow, and my tank that's down over there, oh shit, why would I want to run the hell over there as a squishy character, touch you on the goddamn shoulder when I can just fire it off at you, almost like a healing word, if you will. Just poof, here you go, buddy, you're healed again, go back to work. Works for all the kinds of stuff, as well as the heal spell. And again, I did check to make sure that we can use this swift action, this quickened spell effect for heal, and it does work, so that's awesome. So that's going to be really, really useful for you, especially if you're in combat and they're whooping on your ass. The ability to swift heal yourself, get back up to full, and continue just to plow into the bad guys with your weapon, or get distance and shoot them with your bow is extremely valuable. Notice, of course, you have, all your AoE heals. No way to prevent you from healing the bad guys with this other than placement, so be real careful on that. As far as the free stuff, though, notice this last one. Sorry. No, wrong thing. I'm thinking, here we go, enhanced cures. Whenever you cast a cure spell, the maximum number of hit points healed is based on your oracle level, not the limit based on the spell. This is awesome. So normally a fine example is cure light wound spells. Heals 1d8 plus 5 max. Okay, now that's based on your class level. So at level 1 it'd be 1d8 plus 1. At 5th level it'd be 1d8 plus 5. No higher. Now they take that restriction away by enhanced cure. So literally at 20th level I'm doing 1d8 plus 20 with a level 1 cure light wound spell. Pretty cool, right? Better than that though, some of our other abilities here, like Spirit Boost. Let's see, did I take that one? Energy Body, Spirit Boost. Whenever you heal, your healing spells heal a target up to its maximum HP. Any excess persists for 1 round per caster level, so in our case 2 minutes, as 10 hit points. So now think about what we just said there. If you're already at full health and I hit you with nothing more than a cure light wound spells, I can literally heal you for, what was that, 1d8 plus 20 we said? So let's just say bottom roll. You rolled a 1. 21 HP, I can heal anybody as a level 1 spell, and they have 21 extra hit points, bonus hit points, for the next 2 minutes. Or obviously if you use Cure Moderate Wounds it gets better, or if you use the other ones it gets better. This would be something that I would use Maximize Meta Magic Rods on, specifically so that I could cap you out. Give you something like Cure Critical, that's 48, so that's 32 plus 20. So that could be 52 hit points I could just give anybody by using a maximized meta magic rod, cast a level 4 spell on you, which is of course cure critical wounds, and thanks to spirit boost, poof, you have those permanent buffs, well, massive buff to hit points for a short period of time. That's pretty cool, I think. I don't know if this works for a heal. If so, awesome. If not, it sucks. But heal would be amazing because that's 150 hit points. Now think about how much fun that would be. Matter of fact, that would be something for us to test. I assume this would work not just for your teammates, but would work for you as well. So that'd be actually something very interesting to test. Because let's face it, having everyone walk in with a mass heal, which we have access to, I think, yeah, mass heal. That's a potential of 150 to 250, whatever it is. Again, I don't believe the 250 there. I think that's a typo. Maybe it's 200 though. So a 200 hit point buff to everybody for, 2 minutes? That sounds pretty cool to me. I could see really having some fun with that. Just start off every fight with, here's mass heal, guys. Go to town. Even your weak sorcerer characters that have like 100 hit points or less is going to be running in with 300 now. Yeah! That shit's going to be epic. So that'd be pretty cool. Of course, we took cure spells as our healing. I don't even remember if they give us an option for that, but obviously you would want this. I mean, everything's based on you being a healer with your life magic. You don't have to, I suppose. If they give you the option, you could have gone negative energy. Notice some of these other ones that we picked up, though. We have not only our enhanced cures, combat healer, as well as our spirit boost, but we managed to pick up safe curing. Literally the ability to heal without provoking attacks of opportunity. And again, you may say, well, then why did you get the range ones? I was going to do it anyway, and I figured, what the hell. So I was happy to get the reach meta magic. So again, on you, how you want to play your character. But I do like the fact that I can cast it at distance. And just because, let's face it, just because you're down at distance doesn't mean I'm A, over there to heal you, and B, that I don't have someone already on my face. So if someone's already attacking me melee style, why would I want to run past that dude, get an attack of opportunity against myself just so I could hope to heal you? Screw that. Just shoot a healing spell at distance. And with this, I will not provoke an attack of opportunity against the guy that's already standing on top of me. So that's a solid upgrade as far as I'm concerned. And again, we've managed to grab Energy Body. And this one's a little more fiddly. Let's actually look at this one. As a standard action, you can transform your body into pure life energy, resembling a golden white fire elemental. In this form, you gain the elemental subtype and give off a warm, welcoming light that increases the light level within 10 feet by 1 step up to normal light. Any undead creature striking with its body or a handheld weapon deals normal damage, but at the same time, the attacker takes 1d6 points of positive energy damage plus 1 per oracle level. So basically like your fire auras that we have from the wizard spell, but obviously positive energy damage and only against undead. Creatures wielding melee weapons with reach are not subject to this damage if they attack you. If you grapple or attack an undead creature using unarmed strikes or natural weapons, you may deal this damage in place of the normal damage. Now this would actually be pretty interesting if it weren't for such a limited amount that you get to use this. Like if you wanted to monk this up, I'd grab something like this earlier than later. Now I'm sure there's a restriction on this, like you have to be level like 7 or 11 to actually grab that one, but so what? It would still be fun to be a monk that goes around just burning the undead with your fists of energy. It would be pretty cool in my opinion. Anyway, back to what we were saying. Once per round, if you pass through a living allied creature square or an ally passes through your square, it heals 1d6 hit points plus 1 per oracle level. I assume that's an aura on you. If they get near you, they basically brush against you, whatever, they get healed. You may use this ability to heal yourself as a move action. You choose whether or not to heal a creature when it passes through your space. I'll see how that's a thing. You may return to your normal form as a free action. You may remain in energy body form for a number of rounds per day equal to your oracle level. So it sounds like a toggle that we get to turn on and shut off. So 20 rounds max, 2 minutes of being awesome. Nothing wrong with that. A solid one. I figure let's play with it a little bit. I've never even really tested it out. Grab life senses up here as an extra revelation, as a feat burn. This one here is ability to see living creatures within 30 feet, which basically is blind sight, but apparently only against living. Now, if that is actually true, or if the game just says, no, you just have blind sight 30 feet, again, I can't tell you, because I'm not fighting undead. But a solid upgrade in my opinion, and I don't mind that one. Now, for the ones that I didn't grab, okay, so we had this one. I did not grab Life Link. This one's a weird one. Literally allows you to link up to 1 or more, supposedly, people on your team at the start of your day, and anytime they would drop to 0 hit points or less, you take damage and they don't die. Which is a nice tether idea, where you literally are the life force providing them healing and you keep them alive. Nothing wrong with this. It seemed weird to me to want to penalize myself because your teammates are being stupid, though. So, you know, I suppose if this was like a mercenary instead of my main character, I wouldn't mind lifelink so much, because then the mercenary should be doing their best to save me. That's why they're getting paid. So, you know, I suppose that's a thing. We didn't grab Healing Hands. Healing Hands is literally nothing more than like a +4 to your natural healing abilities. For those of you that don't know what this is, I literally need to show it to you. It is
I will not falter.
This Treat Affliction ability, literally based on your lore religion. And our lore religion is not great, but it's not horrible by any stretch of the imagination. So getting a +4 to that really wasn't all that woohoo exciting to me. So I said pass. But again, it's one of those where you could have grabbed it. And again, that was Healing Hands. Enhanced Cures, we already have that one talked about. Energy Body. Delay Affliction will be the last one to talk about. So Delay Affliction is one where it sounded like it was a toggle. And the more, like if you failed like a poison save or a disease save, using this would allow you to stall off the effects where you would have to make another save. Why would this be useful? Well, if you didn't have the ability to cure the poison or remove the disease immediately, you could see the benefit of this. It gives you several hours to get back to Oleg's or to a cleric of some kind, where you could have them cure you. You know, yeah, I need help, and they heal you up with the use of a scroll standing right next to them. But since we're going to have spells and access to those spells really anyway, it seemed kind of silly. Again, I could see the appeal, but it's still one of those where I'm not going to pick it up here, and why would I pick it up as a feat at that point? Unless I literally had nothing else to pick, I can't see picking that one. And again, Healing Hands was being another one that was kind of, yeah, who gives a damn? And Lifelink as well. So I had 3 out of the 10 here that I didn't grab. 6 plus my free one up here. So I managed to get 7 out of the 10. And I feel pretty good about that. Now, having said all that, what did we grab for feats? Well, first I need to show you the first ones because they're always hidden. Notice I took Spell Vulnerability. Remember, we have simple weapons, medium armor, all the way up to medium armor, I should say. Shield proficiency, but not tower shields. This is typical for oracles. We took Spell Vulnerability. Even with us being human, I figured, screw that, let's get an extra feat. So we took Martial Weapon Proficiency because, again, I needed access to longbows for this particular type of build. Took Point Blank Shot for obvious reasons, and I figured if you're going to be a healer, almost all the healing spells, if not every one of the healing spells, is a conjuration spell. So I figured Spell Focus Conjuration, and I decided to go into some of the summonings as well. I figured, what the hell, especially if you wanted to try to solo a little bit, having summon pets out, literally the summon monster 1 through 9 you have access to. Not saying you should grab all of them, but at least you could. And you could literally start summoning from level 1 and just say, here's a puppy, go get him, puppy. And you stay back and just bow, bow, bow. You got nothing wrong with this. So of course I went Augment Summoning, Selective Channel, but that was actually, we started to level up. So Selective Channel, Augment Summoning, Meta Magic Reach, I just wanted to have it sooner than later. Rapid Shot, Mini Shot, Deadly Aim. Again, you're going to be good with a bow. Why not be really good with it, in my opinion? We already talked about our free extra Revelation. And of course, we went for Superior Summoning so that you could summon more than one when you have, an extra one when you summon more than one on average. So 1d3 means it's now 1d3 plus 1. 1d4 plus 1 turns into 1d4 plus 2. So again, those are the nice ones. Now sadly, when you summon just one wolf, it will not turn into 2 because of Superior Summoning. It will, however, be augmented. So all of our summons have a +4 to Strength and +4 to Con, whether they wanted it or not. Here you go, buddy. And this even works, by the way, for our Elemental Summoning. This part. Not this one, because when you summon the Elementals, you only summon one at a time, so Superior Summoning doesn't work on them. Still, it's worth having this one at the very least. So if this is not your cup of tea, and maybe you're like, oh, you're missing this particular feat, or notice the fact that I did not even grab Weapon Finesse for when I need to melee, I can't say you're ever going to melee with this character. I would keep a bow in your hand at all times. I would be the new Ekin. So again, up to you. Of course, I should point out I am vulnerable to Necromancy. I picked that as my spell vulnerability on purpose. Thematically speaking, it made sense. So I'm weak against unholy damage and Necromancy spells, which could be a bummer. But again, we will have buffs to saves against Necromancy stuff and then eventually be immune to them. So again, I don't mind that too much. Notice that we grab Precise Shot all the way at the end. And again, you may say, well, that's kind of a waste, way the hell back there. Why not get it sooner? Yeah, that's true. And again, you can shuffle these things around. Selective Channeling may not be necessary as soon as possible. I could put Meta Magic Reach behind a bit if I wanted to. But I still maintain that you definitely want Martial Weapon Proficiency soon and then start working towards your stuff for bow use. And I'd rather have an extra shot versus a -4 penalty taken away. I'm going to have the best gear ever, the best dex ever, and buffs besides for all that stuff. So do I really need to work on that -4 penalty quite as quick? I say no. Again, on you. So again, shuffle around as you need. But by and large, this was the build. Pretty happy with it. Now, of course, let's look at the epic level loot that I gave you. Of course, we have changed stuff around enough to make it interesting. I love the look of this bow. By the way, this is the Hunter's Blessing. Holy Bow +5, +4 Sacred bonus to Dexterity. I've cast Disruption and Weapon of Honor, so that's what those bonuses are that you're seeing there as well. But by and large, it's normally just a +5 composite longbow that's a holy longbow. And that means literally like 2d6 of extra damage to, I want to say, evil targets. So that's something. You see it here just to prove to myself. Yeah, I guess evil aligned targets. So basically, if they're evil, they're taking more damage from your bow, which, yay, you. Now, of course, that's not the only bow you will have access to in the game, and by and large, I recommend that you grab every bow and have a decent assortment for yourself. Ekin can still come along. Yeah, he's a good shot. He does a solid damage, but you're going to do more, but he still can maintain better than you in a lot of regards. Having said that, I think you will enjoy being the main bowman, or bow person, in your build. Or in your playthrough. Well, notice this other one. This is Mirror Bow. This was the one I was talking about for my ranged Arcane Trickster build that I had said I wouldn't post unless anyone wanted to see it. This one's actually pretty badass in that it literally is +5 composite longbow, but every time you shoot an arrow that hits a target, another minor arrow shoots off of that. That's the reflection arrow. And again, rolls again to see if it hits, and again, can sneak attack as well. And it gets like half the damage, so it's like half strength. But it ain't the point. Sneak attack is full strength. And that's why that build was so fun to me. But again, to do that properly, you have to either be greater invisible all the time, which we couldn't justify, or B, and this is more likely, that you have multiple teammates or pets out that are flanking a target so that you can pepper them with arrows that can sneak attack glove. That character was having super fun in this room here with the trolls because they literally had skeletons or pets out, or the teammate ran in, kept the trolls at bay, and I was just arrow, sneak attack, just amazing amount of damage that we were whipping up on those guys, and that was super fun to me. So again, similar principle here. We don't have necessarily access to sneak attack. I mean, I could have picked it up, and I think I may have, but as far as the Blade of Society trait. But we don't have Sense Vitals access, we don't have sneak attack love. That's not true. Remember, we got kick-ass spells like Miracle and Lesser Miracle. This includes level 1 and level 2 and level up spells all the way up to 6, and then of course up to level 8 for the other guy. But that means level 2 spells of a wizard, or sorcerer for that matter. That means you have access to Sense Vitals in this. Now, would I waste a level 7 spell pick to give myself nothing more than sneak attack damage for the next 2 minutes? Fuck yeah, I would. Why wouldn't you? Sounds fun to me. So feel free to do that shit. Buff yourself up with the stuff you don't have access to, and sneak attack. I would make sure, of course, that I'm getting as many attacks as possible, and again, Mirror Bow would be the way to do that, in my opinion. Again, you will have fun with this, and then again, works off of your rapid shot as well, so every time you get an extra shot from your rapid shot, that works off of your speed upgrade, so like haste, or in our case, divine power is giving us an extra attack around. That's a speed buff, technically speaking, so it would work off of that as well. So basically, anytime you shoot off another arrow, I don't know that it works on mini shot, can't say as I cared to test, but it's one of those where mini shot's just like a random arrow as well, kind of like what Mirror Bow does. You hit him with one arrow, and then another arrow basically splits off and hits him. That's what mini shot basically does. That's a separate attack, but it's a free attack, but only on the first one. But Mirror Bow is every one of them is a continuous, like, this one hit, okay, another Mirror Bow shot. This one hit, okay, another Mirror Bow shot. Oh, you missed on the fourth one, but you hit on the fifth one. Another Mirror Bow shot. And again, that's why this is really, really powerful, because while you could hit like 5 times, maybe 6 on this build with nothing more than mini shot, rapid shot, and deadly aim on, which are my staples. But and of course the fact that we are hastened in effect thanks to divine power. But if you add a Mirror Bow to every one of those, you went up from 5, 6 shots, maybe potentially up to like 10, 11, or 12 shots in a combat round for sneak attack damage. And again, those Mirror Bow shots are kind of garbage, but when you add sneak attack to them, oh man, is that shit fun. That's why I like that build, for those of you that were curious. Notice that we went crazy with the quivers. You don't have to do this one. There's one in particular here that's worth a damn, though. Let me find it. Ancient Hunt, this one right here. Unlimited use, only a bonus to attack and damage, but against Fae. So I would have this one as like your main, quite frankly, and that would literally be once you'd find it, of course, and that would be the one you'd have on all the time when you're fighting any kind of Fae, because why not have a bonus to that shit? Notice that some of the gear that we're wearing, like the Braces of Ruby Phoenix Champion bonus, some of the bonuses you don't see here, even though I'm clearly using the bow, you see a +1 thanks to the bracers of the Ruby Phoenix there, other. But it should be a +3 total, +1 as well as a +2. Where's my +2 at? Damn it. It doesn't kick in until after you shoot. When you shoot, you'll actually see your score goes up. And the +2 and the +1 are there. So for those of you that are like, this is broken, it's not broken. It is fine. I did test it myself. But again, highly recommend you have those bracers. And again, you are wearing armor. You can wear up to medium. Our dexterity is so high, I decided to go with, of course, the Royal Guardian armor. This is the one that allows you to have a max dexterity all the way up to 15 and still benefit from it. Well, we don't have quite that high, but we're doing pretty damn good, I'd say, at a +12. So I was pretty happy with this. It's studded leather. It's +5. Basically, it's the equivalent of wearing plate mail. And, of course, it gives you 20 extra HP, which who doesn't like extra HP? So I highly recommend you grab something light armor, studded leather. There's some decent chain shirts out there that are mithril, for example, that'll give you a decent amount of dexterity back. Not 12, but there's stuff out there that'll get you like 6, 8. There's another armor out there that gives you like a 10. So there's plenty to choose from. But this was the only one I think I could find that gives me my 12. Not counting, of course, robes and shirts and stuff like that. Which, of course, you're still welcome to put on. Notice that we have the Brightest Darkness Circlet. Bonus to Charisma and Wisdom. That's why my intelligence came from my cloak, because this is not giving me an intelligence bonus. But notice this. Plus 2d6 for my channel energy ability. So extra healing or extra damage if I'm targeting undead with that. And that's what that one does, basically. So again, something you'd probably give to Tristan normally. Screw him. You're better at it. You be that person. You're going to be awesome. Herbalist Cape. I did it for 2 reasons. One, well, 3 reasons actually. 1, because of the bonus to intelligence. 2, because of the lore nature bonus. And 3, because it allows me to do delay poison 3 times a day. Now, yes, I have delay poison. I'll show you my spellbook in a moment. So I don't have to use that, but it's not the point. It's nice to be able to cast it from here instead of using my very precious spells that I could be using for healing, when this can be used 3 times a day to buff me and 2 of my teamies for many, many hours. It's an hour per caster level, and it's a 3rd level cleric. So that's a 3-hour buff for you and 2 others, technically speaking. That's a solid dungeon, in my opinion, and then some. So you're fine. Ring of Circumstances, if this is your main, this is the thing you get. Obvious buffs for me were Dexterity and Charisma, for obvious reasons. I went Armor as well, of course, because why not get some Circumstance bonus for Armor? And then the other one I think I used for skills or spell 10 or something. I can't remember. Hell, maybe I even did it for strength. No, I did not. Well, because of composite bow, I'm thinking. But still, you can turn on that 4th toggle on whatever the hell you want. Strength, con, maybe you want more intelligence just because, who cares? Up your wisdom so you have more will. Again, up to you. But the 3 solid ones for me, of course, are always Dexterity for Armor, Armor for Armor, and whatever casting set you had, in our case, Charisma. So that's my 3rd. And then the 4th one's just kind of whatever I feel. Notice we grabbed the Great Dreamer Smile. It's a solid ring choice. Not the best ring out there, but I figured what the hell, something different. And I love the fact that I'm immune to curses while I'm under the effect. Notice the +2 luck bonus to attack and damage rolls. Now again, you notice that we have a luck bonus right now for Divine Power. So this does not stack. So that's a problem. So again, this would be something I'd probably swap out. The only real reason I like this one so much is it's also saving throw luck bonus. As you can see, we get that down here. +2, +2, +2. And we get a +2 bonus to luck for spell pin, which is something we didn't have. And then another +2 luck bonus to all our skill checks, which we didn't have, with the exception, I think, of, let me show it to you, athletics. See the luck bonus from Divine Power. But mobility, luck from the ring. Luck from the ring. And again, the only reason why this one is here is because Divine Power gives a luck bonus to strength-based skills. The only one that's a strength-based skill is athletics. Also gives you a +6 luck bonus to strength checks, which means if you're out in the wild or someone needs you to like lift this log or whatever, and it says strength check of 19, not an athletics check, a strength check of 19 has to be reached. Well, you have a +10 to that check here because of this, and then you have another 6 thanks to the luck bonus from strength check bonus. That gives you an increased chance then to lift that log. So again, pretty damn baller. Well, where was I? Oh, yeah. skills and stuff here. Yeah, so we talked about our rings, talked about our cape. Let's talk about our necklace. Got Roner's amulet. Now, of course, there's a variety of other amulets you can grab, but this is still a staple for your main character to stay alive. This is a massive bonus to armor class, all three categories, so it's in every last one of these. And you still have a solid touch armor class. Not amazing, I'll grant you, but it's still decent. And this one allows you to cast mirror image on yourself at the start of every combat, something that we don't normally have access to. So free spell basically. Every time combat starts, you have another little bonus protecting you, which is awesome. Where I talked about Royal Guardian, the Belt of Physical Perfection plus 8, 8, and 8. I figured why the hell not? Blessed Hands. Now here's a fun one. Your healing spells are 4 caster levels higher. Now remember, if you had heard me in the past whining and complaining about how some of these spells have like silly stuff where they specifically say plus 1 point per caster level, maximum of 40. Who the hell is level 40 caster level? Doesn't exist, right? Well, that's probably true, but we just got a piece of gear on that gives us a plus 4 bonus. So instead of level 20, which we are, we're technically level 24, and I'm sure there's probably other gear or feats or spells that will buff your healing ability, so to speak. So instead of being a 24th caster level for just the heals, you probably could go much higher. And that's still something. And I was pretty cool with that. And again, this lends credence to the fact that for like mass heal, where it specifically says can heal up to 250, and again, it's 10 per caster level, which 150 was the cap for the normal heal spell. This one says 250, so either that's a typo, or again, they're counting on you using gear like we just talked about, pushing your 20 caster level up to 24 or higher. So again, I can get you to 24, so maybe I can get you to 240, AoE style. And that shit's just funny. So again, pretty damn sweet, I thought. Now, having said all of that, of course, we have our Manticore skin boots, better speed, something you're definitely going to appreciate as being a ranged attacker. Getting into position is extremely important for you. Something that you'll find when you play with Ekin on the team is that Ekin is very bad at shooting multiple targets because usually they're out of range. He has to stutter step to get in range, but that's only 5 feet. And again, same with me. Even with these boots on, that doesn't give us any more distance. But when you finally exhaust all your targets and you really need to just move to catch up to the rest of the group that's meleeing, having extra speed is to your benefit because you can just get right up in it. And then in the next combat round, you're just boom, 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 just dropping targets again like Legolas, just having all kinds of fun. So again, highly recommend that you grab something that boosts your speed. Now, let's actually look at our spells from level 1 on up. And again, I did pick free spells at every opportunity. So again, not until level 4 does that kick in. But level 4 all the way to level 20, I picked the highest level spell category and got a free spell at every time. So that's what, 17 free spells added to your spell book. That's pretty solid. Cure spells are always free. Of course, we get the other free ones as well. In this case, remove sickness. But I went Shield of Faith and Bless for solid protection. Remember, just because you're at range doesn't mean you don't want your buffs. And you can buff your team, of course, as well. Divine Favor for an early luck bonus for a swing as well as damage. Bane for an AoE debuff of the bad guys. I figured Unbreakable Heart because I was kind of running out of things to pick here. But Unbreakable Heart because it is a bonus to mind affecting spells, and you can cast it after they've been impacted by it, which allows them to like negate the effect. So if the target is already under such an effect when receiving the spell, that effect is suppressed for the duration of the spell. So not long, but if someone's like beating on your team because they're like under the effects of one of these negative effects, then you literally can take that away short term. And I thought that was kind of cool. Ray of Sickening, you are good at ray spells. You are a Dex-based character. I figured, what the hell, make someone sick, puke your guts out. And again, pretty cool. And again, with our ability to cast Reach as a meta magic, close range becomes medium range. It's one level higher, but so what? I don't mind that. And again, this is applicable for all these guys that have the dot. So you can shoot a Cure Light Wound spell. You can shoot at a further distance than touch. So anything that's basically touch becomes close range. Close range becomes medium. Medium range becomes long. Long range you can't reach. Long range is already long. So, and AoE stuff can't be reached if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I take that back. AoE spells that are centered on you, like this, can't be reached. But, because it's not a touch attack or a touch effect. But AoE spells like Fireball, for instance, that are already at long range, again, you can't reach those. But ones that are at medium range or close range for whatever reason, that are AoE, you can or should be able to reach those. So that's still a thing. Resist energy, lesser restoration for free. I figured, again, protection, free heal spell, delay poison. Again, once you have access to that, all those other stuff that they had, like neutralize poison that you're going to get at level 3 is going to be kind of trivial. Yes, eventually, something's going to happen where you forget to cast it on a teammate, or you didn't have enough spells to cast it on all the teammates, and just that one person happens to get poisoned. So neutralize poison does have its uses, so the fact that you get it for free is nice, because I would not pick it up. Arrow of Law, again, another touch attack. And again, I figured what the hell, and thematically made sense. You're a bowman, why not be able to shoot a magic arrow at people? Weapon of Awe, a nice buff to your damage, and again, if a target gets crit with your weapon, which I believe it works on your bow, then they literally become shaken for 1 round with no saving throw. That's pretty sweet. Blessing of Courage and Life. This is one of the 2 blessings that are available. I don't like the luck one as much. This one's decent. Bonus against fear and death effects. That's the only reason I actually gave a shit about it, because fear is good enough. The death effects really kind of pushed it up and over the top. My favorite part, though, is this. The target loses the saving throw bonus, but is healed for 1d8 points of damage, +1 per caster level up to a +10. Now, I don't know that your healing ability that can push this beyond 10 exists on this. I've never tested that. But, well, 10 is still good enough, quite frankly. So 11 to 18 HP of a quick heal. That's literally up to the person that you cast it on, where they literally can say, I don't need the buff anymore, I'm dying, I need to heal. Poof, I heal myself, and basically negate the spell as a swift action. So again, kind of cool. Find traps for obvious reasons, why not have more perception? Bone Shaker, auto hit moves, gotta love those stuff. And again, magical vestment. Remember, the shield doesn't work. You're not using the shield anyway. But again, you can buff your armor, any armor, with this, so feel free to do so. And honestly, I would not mind using many of my spells per day to buff up me and the whole goddamn team with this, because everybody can use 1 to 5 extra armor. And again, everyone's wearing some kind of armor. Even if it's a robe, it's considered armor. So again, you can buff everybody on your team with this shit, so that's a solid upgrade. Neutralize poison for free, cure serious for free, protection from energy, again for protection, Searing Light, a nice ray spell. Now we start getting into our summons, animate dead, summon monster, no particular order on these things. Prayer, nice buff / debuff. Again, luck bonus, but notice this. Unlike Divine Favor, this one here at level 1, here, that's a +1 all the way up to a +3 for weapons and attack only, and only lasts for a minute. This one is 1 round per caster level, so best case scenario is going to be 2 minutes, unless you extend it with like a Meta Magic Rod, and then it would be 4. This one here is only a +1 luck bonus to attack and weapon, but it's AoE for you and your team. And beyond that attack and weapon bonus, you get save bonus, skill bonuses, and again, penalties to all the bad guys are the same type of stuff. So, still a useful spell. Divine Favor is better for the attack and the weapon damage, but doesn't give you the skills and the save bonuses. So, and of course, again, this helps your team. Divine Favor does not. So again, potato patata, I still maintain is a solid choice. Level 4, Airwalk for obvious reasons. Restoration was free, Cure Critical is free, Greater Magic Weapon. Just because I have a +5 bow now doesn't mean I'm going to always have a +5 bow. And I can buff another teammate with this, so that's still a solid upgrade. Divine Power, this is an amazing buff. This is the one that literally is giving me my +6 luck bonus to all my stuff. So again, at this point, Divine Favor kind of loses its luster. I still keep Divine Favor instead of specking out of it, which you can do as you level up. You always get the option of, do you really want to keep all those spells? Yes, I do. Because I may run out of these castings. And again, it's a level 1 spell, still a solid upgrade for a level 1 spell. Notice again, this is the strength checks, the strength-based skill checks, which they might have just said athletics check. Again, starts off at a +1. By the time you get this, or can get this, I want to say you're actually at a +3 already, or +2. And then you rapidly get into +3 all the way up to finally a +6 at level like 18. So you're going to be better than Divine Favor very quickly if you're not already. 10 hit points equal to your caster levels. That's awesome. That's why I have 20 HP right now extra. Whenever you make a full attack, you get an additional attack, just like you were under the effect of a haste spell or a speed effect. Obviously does not stack with similar effects, so don't use a speed bow and this and expect the speed bow to give you an extra attack. You're like, where did it go? It's fine, because Divine Power is there too. They just don't stack, it's just whichever's on you. Freedom of movement for protection for you or your team. Summon Monster 4, because again, we're going to grab most of them, not all, but grab most every level. The Death Ward is a nice solid buff for you or a teammate protection from save death effects, as well as immune to energy drain and negative energy levels and all that fun stuff. So again, really, really nice protection for you and the teammates. True Seeing, nice solid spell upgrade in my opinion for being able to see invisible targets, something you really can't miss. So again, having True Seeing on you is very useful, I think. Breath of Life for keeping your teammates off the ground. Again, this one was free, so it's Cure Light Wounds AoE style. Vine Trap, because again, I do like paralysis spells. It's easier to hit targets when they're paralyzed with your ranged attacks too, because their dexterity is considered 0. And it does that cold iron damage that we love against Fae, which is extremely useful in my opinion. Notice that we have, and by the way, long range, which can't be understated. Notice we have spell resistance for solid protection for ourselves or someone else on the team. Summon monsters again. Disrupting weapon. I have yet to prove that this actually works on a bow, because it says melee weapon, but I do have disruption as a upgrade on my bow because I've cast this on myself, and it says it's there, so I believe it doesn't work. So hopefully that's true, and the melee weapon is inconsequential. Righteous Might. Now this is another upgrade for strength and con size bonus. Penalty to dex, which sucks. A little bonus to your natural armor as well. Some resistances as well, and those get better as you level up, which is nice. You're easier to hit because you're bigger. Your dexterity went down, so you're easier to hit, but you do get some natural armor as well, so they should neuter each other out. But this one is used until, in my opinion, you get access to Frightening Aspect, which is much later, because they don't buff in the same order. They don't stack, because they're both size bonuses. However, having said that, this part does stack, or well, is layered, let's say it the proper way, because you have DR10, let's say at this point, against evil targets, because I'm a good character. DR10/evil. If it's an evil weapon, it'll penetrate this DR. Frightening Aspect has DR as well, but theirs is DR10/magic, I believe. So it has to be a magic weapon to penetrate it. So again, having both of them is applicable here, because again, is it an evil weapon? Yes. Well, then it penetrates. But was it a magic evil weapon? No. Well, then again, I still have protection. If it's a magic weapon, does it penetrate the other one? Yes. But was it an evil magic weapon? No. Well, then I still have this one. That's why I say it's layered. It's not stacking on each other. It's not a DR20 combined. It's a DR10 still. Best case scenario. So I do like having multiple uses of stuff like that. So that's really helpful, I think. Level 6, Eagle Soul. Again, another reason to go good, because you literally needed to be good to cast a spell on yourself. Otherwise, you have massive penalties, which you could be immune to. So there's ways around to this. So just know that. But Sickened, if you're neutral, if you're evil, you get staggered for the duration of the spell. The spell buff is on you, so I believe if you're immune to staggered, you would be fine. So be aware of that. Again, if you're immune to Sickened and we're neutral and cast this on yourself, you should be fine. The buff should still be there. So that's the thing. But it's a personal effect, doesn't last long. This was a solid bonus to armor class. Sacred bonus to strength, resistance to acid and fire, sacred bonus to all your intimidation checks, as you know, against evil targets, plus to your initiative check, regenerative abilities, so basically fast healing 2. Any critical threat roll against an evil target is automatically confirmed. So again, when you start critting with your bow, which is not very common, because it's like a nat 20 usually they crit on a bow. When you see those crits flying off, it's probably because you're under the effect of your evil soul, which is really, really nice. So that it's just, nope, screw you, you're evil, and I'm going to confirm that hit. Heal spell, nice single target, and again, I can reach that spell. Highly recommend you do so that you have multiple castings of it for one, and that you can shoot it at distance for another. But Cure Moderate AoE, Hellfire Ray, you're good at ray spells, but oddly enough, you're going to rapidly find that you'd rather just shoot your bow. I mean, there's reasons for you to want to use Hellfire Ray, but quite frankly, 3 beams that do, decent damage compared to, 5 or 6 or 7 attacks that I can get off my bow that do just as much damage, and it's about as likely to hit, quite frankly, it's kind of weird. So it's like, why would I take 3 versus 5? So again, there's uses for it. There's things that aren't, only fire will kill it, so here you go. But by and large, you will see that the bow is in many cases superior. Blade Barrier, because I figured, what the hell, something fun. Cast out a big wall of blades just stabbing up from the ground. Elemental Assessor, another ray spell, different damage types, all in it. So fire, acid, cold, and electric all in one. And then whichever does the most damage wins out. And then every time it ticks after that for 1 to 4 more rounds, does a lot more damage of that type. Let's say electric, so 46, 46, 46, 46. After that first initial spike of 2d6 times 4. Solid spell. It's not my favorite, but again, still a solid choice. Chains of Light, a different type of paralysis spell. Again, a reflex save. I think this one was a reflex save as well. Yeah, but again, this one is a conjuration spell. Again, you have spell focus conjuration, a bonus to your chance to make sure that shit lands. I figure, what the hell? And this is considered a good spell for those of you curious, as well as no spell resistance, which is really, really nice. But other than that, same general principle. If it locks them down, makes it easier to hit them. Level 7, Lesser Miracle. Definitely pick up as soon as you can. This opens up a world of awesome. Greater Restoration for free, Cure Serious, AoE style, Bestow Grace. This is, of course, the Paladin one. Again, reason that you went Lawful good, so that you can cast this on yourself and be awesome. So not only immunity to fear and disease now, which again we had at level 20 anyway, but we get this way before then. And now I can use my Charisma modifier for all my saves, and that's the real reason you did this one. Very, very cool. Summon Monster again, 7, Umbral Strike, another beam spell, because why the hell not? And I do like the fact that this one ignores blur effects, not total concealment, not displacement, not greater invis, not 50% concealment, but the 20% ones that many monsters have innately, you can hit them with this thing and it completely ignores that 20%, which is pretty sweet. And again, 2 different types of damage, decent range, it has a medium range and therefore not long, and therefore we can of course reach this one. So I highly recommend that you do so that you have another type of casting of it. And long range, it is really impressively long, so it is nice to have both versions. Jolting Portent, I figured why the hell not. The ability just to summon some electricity every round is just straight up hurt somebody. Soup's funny to me. Then level 8, Frightful Aspect. This is the one that once you get this, you almost want to retire Righteous Might. But because this is a better strength bonus and the same con bonus, no dex penalty, way better natural armor bonus, but this is that, like I said, the DR10 slash magic, and this other one was DR10 eventually slash evil, right? So there are differences. Notice this one gives you some spell resistance as well, and the aura that you emit, so you're scaring things, and if someone dares get into melee range with you as a ranged attacker, usually that's like the end for most ranged attackers. So now you have a chance to scare them away. They hit you and, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that, and they run the hell away from you while you shoot them in the ass, which is pretty damn cool, I think. Heal, mass heal, amazing, obviously. Cure critical wounds, AoE, Rift of Ruin. I figure why the hell not? You just summon a pit from hell just to suck someone down into it. And again, you're at range, so again, it's a good way to block like a doorway or something. Holy Aura, this is the one that is good versus the lawful version. There's one for each of the 4 main alignments of lawful or chaotic, good or evil. Hell, I think there's even a neutral one in there. But the aura, the spell for all of them are basically the same, where you get +4 deflection bonus, +4 resistance bonus, period. Not against evil, not against anything special, just period, which is nice. And then of course you get spell resistance against whatever alignment that your spell goes against. So good versus evil, or chaotic versus lawful, depending on which spell you picked. Then of course this effect here, the abjuration protects from all mind affecting spells and effects, and if that's true, that's awesome. And then of course this one here, the offending attacker is blinded in this particular instance. So again, the other one was a slow effect. This is a different effect. So blinded, the target's an evil creature basically that melees me. They're blinded if they fail their fortitude save against the Holy Aura's DC, which again, remember, I'm level 8 spell here. So what's the DC? So DC check is 10 plus the spell level 8, so 18, plus my caster stat bonus, which for this character is 11. So 18 plus 11, that's a 29. And if I had abjuration as like a spell focus, I could push that higher, but I do not. That's so 29 is a solid DC check for someone to have to suck up and deal. That doesn't mean it's not going to get past a lot, because fortitude's a common one for a meleeer, but still not the point. I still appreciate the fact that they get screwed over, and that's pretty cool, I thought. Storm bolts, kind of like our jolting portent, but on crack, just a ridiculous amount of damage, and the stun effect, which is extremely nice as well. Firestorm, just another AoE type of damage, fire damage, and again taking damage each round afterwards if they fail their first one. Angelic Aspect, I was kind of quite frankly running out of things to grab, but I figured this is still a solid spell. It gets the greater version, a minute per level, unlike our Holy Aura, which is a round per level. This one will last a long time. Obviously, it's still only against evil, I want to say, but it's basically +4 deflection, +4 resistance against evil creatures. As AoE, so basically it's an aura centered on you, so your teammates are nearby, they get this bonus as well, so yay, the team. Notice for you, you also get DR10/evil, just like we saw in that other spell, but this one lasts longer because it's a minute per caster level. Immunity to acid and cold, that's another reason for grabbing, in my opinion, as well as a solid bonus from protection from electricity and fire, and a racial bonus to save against poison, something again that we don't have to worry about with delayed poison, but it's not the point. It's there and it's free, and that's kind of awesome. And again, I think this is an aura, so this aura effect, this might be the something that works on everybody in the aura. Maybe not. I think this is the aura. So this is probably just for you. The aura is for you and anyone near you. So again, solid spell. From here, last one's at level 9, energy drain. Again, I could reach that, but the downside is we don't have any way to make that a level 10 spell. It's not even giving me the option. So, and that's not surprising. There is a way around that though. Like I could have specifically taken the trait that allowed me to cast, say, energy drain as a favorite spell, where it's one level higher thanks to the meta magic, but then it's one level lower thanks to my trait. So I could have done so, and I could have shot that farther, but close range is still pretty good. That's like 30 feet. That's point blank shot range. Miracle, free, amazing spell. Summon Monster 9, I figure why the hell not. Polar Midnight, another AoE spell for solid damage. Again, kind of on you on that. And let's actually have some fun. Now I've pre-buffed up. Now before I get into this mess, I do want to have a
It's time to act.
Summon.
It's time to act.
Some undead.
I stand ready. Strike as
And the reason I wanted that was because then this would simulate having your pets out or the team out. I could have used her pets. I don't know why. I made someone else do it. But point is, I did it. And now we get to see what happens. So, remember, I have a solid bow, decent buffs. Not even all my buffs on me, but a solid smattering of buffs on me. I mean, I'm pretty much cranked up pretty darn high. I am going to delay past the skeletons, so that the skeletons can melee, and then I can stutter step away. I want to delay you past Stabby here. Alright, let the skeletons engage, do their thing. Now I'll 5-foot stutter step away.
Do not hold back.
It's the surprise round, that's why there's only one attack. For those of you wondering why I'm not getting multiple, you see the fact there's not 3 pips. The movement pip is missing. That lets you know it's the surprise round. So you can move, or you can attack, or you can stutter step like this and attack, which is what I just did. So that's still an option. But you have your swift action, and that's about it. I'm just going to move these guys up just the tiniest bit here, just so we can see some action. And in case I need them to summon another undead army or something. Because these guys will die quick. Alright. Go get them, guys. You can do it. I have faith in your abilities. Alright, we're going to 5-foot stutter step back to here and just keep unloading on that jerk I still shot at. Solid damage. Solid damage. Solid damage. Solid damage. And a miss. Now what was that miss on? The last attack, 5 out of 5. I do not have a speed weapon, but thanks to divine power, I'm under the effect of a speed effect. So that's why I have 5 out of 5, not 4 out of 4. And then even on that last swing, I was still swinging, even with a BAB of 5 at this point, because remember, it goes down in increments of 5 for each swing, right? So at a +5 BAB, I'm still swinging at a +27. Size penalty, massive dex bonus, divine power +6, bless spells on me, morale bonus. There's probably another thing that I get, maybe a +2 maybe, but that's about it. Competency, this, like I said, the bracers, it didn't show up originally, but here it is as the +2, and then here it is again as the +1. That's just like it says it does, so it does work. Point blank shot, I have that. I do have precise shot finally at level 19, so I don't have the penalty into firing into melee. But rapid shot and deadly aimer penalties, but still a -2, -4, that's a -6. That would have only put me up 6 higher. 6 higher, actually, I would have been able to hit him. So if I would have shut those off. But again, then you're missing out on an extra attack around, and you're also then missing out on extra damage. Remember that -4, this is just like power attack or piranha strike. The -4 penalty to your swing gives you a +2 bonus. -1 penalty to your swing is a +2 bonus to your damage. So a -4 turns into a +8 damage per arrow. So that's a solid arrow hit. And of course, dumbass that I am, I forgot to turn on my damn lightning arrows, flaming arrows, you know, something like that, just to have some funsies. Let's do ultrasound arrows next time. Let's see. You guys got anything that you can do without messing anything up? You have greater embrace for yourself.
One with the shadows.
By the way, for those of you who are wondering who this character is, this is the Ranger Rogue. This is my Arcane Trickster Eldritch Archer Rogue build. And again, they're stripped of gear because I stole it to put it on my character. That's why. But just to give her a bow. She, again, this is the one that can do sneak attack damage. And again, she is soups fun. But again, you have to have teammates. You have to have pets out. Something that can flank for you so you can get that sneak attack love. Otherwise, you're going to be spending most of your free spells a day, for level 4 anyway, on Greater Invis. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it felt limited. So people probably wouldn't be a fan of it compared to me. I like it. I like being a teammate on that build too. Solid and great. Bastard swung at me. You saw that crap? You bastard. My 60 armor class wasn't enough to hold him? No, it wasn't. But again, this is one other reason I like this build. Again, I'm wearing leathers, man. I'm not wearing plate mail, but I'm still rocking, you saw, it says 60. So 55 plus something else that I'm not seeing. So again, he totally got hosed. Oh, airwalking, melee, +3 from that, and I'm missing something else in yours too. Probably Eagle Soul, maybe another 2? But something else is kicking in here that's not being added in my normal level up process. So that's why you're seeing 55 on the pop-up menu here, but it's really, in reality, 60. So again, solid upgrade. Again, something that you will constantly do when you don't have pets out is you will stutter step back and just unload. It'll still allow you to get full attacks around. Remember, because I do not have point blank shot, precise shot, / point blank master. If I had point blank mastery for longbows, I could toad those bastards like I was legless at point blank range and just arrows into the freaking throat and never provoke an attack of opportunity. I do not have that. That's something that's limited to fighter types or magi that have access to that level, which I do not have. So again, I have to rely on stepping the hell back. Let's actually have you do something fun. Throw out a slow spell. Poof! Screw you guys. Typical trolls. We need some more undead to shield us from oncoming attacks, bro. What do you think, guys? But like I said, and I know this video's already long enough at an hour plus, this is a solid build. It's definitely fun, teammate friendly, and just to have some funsies here, I'm going to show you my sneak attack with this doofus.
This will hurt.
Attack. Oh. They're not getting sneak attack because no one else is on top of it. Well, no, this guy's barbarian. They have barbarian levels in them, and therefore they're immune to sneak attack. As far as that's concerned, for like being flanked or whatever the hell it's called. So you can't get sneak attack off them without doing certain special things like your prescient attack kind of stuff, which I should have done. But again, that's the Ranger Rogue. And again, one reason I like the Ranger Rogue was because of the sneak attack potential. They weren't great with the bow like this character is, because this character's got buffs up the yin-yang. But having said all that, you do have to burn a lot of spells and time to buff up. As you can see, we got a lot cast on us to make sure that we're proper in the free world here. But as you can see, she's doing just business. Like usually, I found when I was testing her the past couple days, I found that every time she was shooting at these trolls, as long as she had some distance between her, so she wasn't getting pounded in the face when she was doing it, and she had her buffs on her, she was downing a troll every combat round. Without fail, of the 5 arrows going out, 3 to 4 arrows almost every time are landing. And that's not arrows that have been buffed in some kind of magic way where it's like touch armor class. No, this is counting their goddamn armor. These guys are getting like wailed on with their armor of 34. That's how strong this character is for shooting. And again, it would have been the same with melee, but I would have had to switch over to a melee weapon and had to be up and in it. And I'm just not a fan of getting that close for a character that's just not that tough. Now, we did say we wanted to test some things. Let's see if I can remember what the hell those things were. Oh, the heal. I want to see if I can heal my teammates for more healing. Remember, it's a temp bonus to healing. Now, let's see if the heal spell works on them. Let's do the mass heal. this is the Ranger Rogue. Ranger
You
Rogue.
should have run.
Sneak attack down that front. Solid damage, kid. Good work. Okay, there we go. Now, let's see. Where is my AoE heal spell? Mass heal. Nope. Okay. Maybe it's limited to your caster level because I see 20s on these guys. I wasn't paying attention before. But I don't see this one getting anything. Oh, this one's undead. That's why. Haha. Okay, at least it didn't kill her. So, yay us, I guess. I could have killed her by that without even thinking about that. Do that. Of course, these guys go on town on these dudes. But again, that's cool. And again, maybe it doesn't even work on that kind of heal, so that's a possibility. Let's fire off some freezing attack on this doofus. Why a lot of sneak attack this guy's because I just need appreciate attack. One of the reasons, again, I like the Ranger Rogue build here, which is it's not a Ranger. Just to be clear on that, this was again the Arcane Trickster 10, Eldritch Archer 9, and 1 level of Rogue dip. I just called it Ranger Rogue because that's kind of what she felt like to me. She was pretty cool. And again, I did enjoy this character. She got medium armor for free. Improved precise shot was a nice upgrade for her for ignoring stuff. Cluster shots is something I sadly couldn't get in this build. And I really feel it because, again, armor protection is what it is. She just needs to hit. She needs to hit hard. So fortunately, she has that going for her. So my life cleric, or life oracle, still feels like she's doing what I wanted her to do. Let's do another quick AoE one just to test this thing one last time. Here is here critical. Yeah, it doesn't appear to work, or the 20 is the cap. That's fine. It's probably just a +1 then per casual. Well, that's probably unrealistic to expect that we were going to get, what do you call it? 150 to 250 HP temporarily added to our character for 2 minutes. But whatever. Let's see. This character, of course, don't forget they had the impromptu sneak attack. This is another reason I like that build. So again, she has the toggle she can activate for that entire combat round. She gets to basically treat them like they're flat-footed, which is again what Appreciate Attack does as well. So 14 plus uses a day of that one versus 3 or 4 uses of this one. I'd rather have 14. So again, and I can use that 14 for other things. I can use it to buff her weapon. This thing here, the Arcane Weapon Enhancement, it's not amazing. She can get all the way up to like a +3, but she can make it a Ghost Touch weapon. She has brilliant energy, but she only has a +3 bonus, so she can't actually use this one. It's in her tray, but it's garbage. She can't use it. This one you can. She can make a speed weapon, so any bow that she wields, she can have a speed weapon, and of course her Arcane Strike fell off, so she can less damage as a result of that. But like I said, I did kind of dig that character. It's not everybody's thing. This one definitely has more spells, so this one's definitely just rocking it in the free world. But see if I can show you a couple of these kick-ass abilities that she has. Miracle. Here we go. Here's the combat healer toggle. So I've taken damage. Oh no, what do? I activate my combat healer. Now let's activate the heal spell. No, that's passive. 5 or 6. That was 6, right? There it is. Heal. In combat. Guys around me. And it's burnt up. Now notice that it took 2 charges. Went from 6 to a 4, right? And that's what it does. It specifically tells you that. It's going to use 2 charges up, so make sure you have at least a 2 or greater uses a day of whatever heal spell we're talking about. But again, that's 150 at level 15 auto heal at that point for you or anyone else that you basically cast that on as a swift action. Shut that off when you're done, and then go back to shooting. Because again, I have my full combat round still as far as shooting. That's why I like that swift action. So again, I can heal on the fly, pop, pop, pop. Again, we have the ranged version, which again makes you awesome. So let's show you that next. Okay, so now let's show you the ranged version. So I did that one here. Here's the ranged version of it. Now again, turn on your tog. Let's shoot it at let's do a 5-foot stutter step. Let's say, oh no, Ranger Rogue has been damaged. We need to shoot her at distance. Whatever shall we do? Here we go. Ranged heal. Swift action. Now notice the number of charges. Yesterday it went from 7 to 6. Let's see if it holds that true. It does. Why does it do that? That's awesome. So basically, meta magic that shit up because it's way better this way. I don't know what does that, dude. In fact, did that even use up one of my combat healer things? Oh my god, I don't think it did. Oh, we need to retest that. So we gotta keep track of that. So we were at a 3. Let's heal up the other person. It's not a 3. Level 7. Stabby, stabby. That's this guy, right? Use up a charge like it's supposed to. He's still at 3. Oh my god, that's amazing! Oh, that's a glitch from hell, guys. Make sure to get reach meta magic at least, because that's the ones you can use on the heal spells. There are other ones you can use on the heal spell, by the way, for meta magic. Just so we're clear on this. Just to point out some things. So reach works because touch attack for all the 1, 2, 3, and 4, the critical and down. Okay, because they're all touch attacks, and now you can shoot them at close range. But these ones here, Cure Light Wounds, you can cast them at range because the range is close. So it's AoE, but it's not long range. So this can be, again, reached as well. Heal spell, which is what I was using, is a touch attack and therefore can be shot with reach at close range, which is what I was doing. That's why it's here at level 7. If it's apparently reached, that's awesome. This is the only thing you can do to this spell as far as I know, because you cannot extend it. You cannot maximize it. It's already at full strength. There's no die roll, so there's no empowering it. So for heal, your only real choice, besides quicken, of course, which is what I was just doing, is reach. So reach meta magic is amazeballs. I just stumbled upon that. That's freaking amazing. But for these other ones now, having said that, for these other ones, remember, there's die rolls associated with them. So they could be empowered. They could be maximized. Hell, they could even be intensified, I believe. Heal, sadly, cannot be intensified. It says 10 hit points per level to a max of 15 levels. You would think that means you could intensify that spell to get it up to 20 levels, right? Because that's what intensify does. It adds 5 more levels to the caster level of whatever. So if you're a 20th level caster, I should be able to heal at 200 HP with a heal spell. But again, you cannot do that. Intensify does not work on that spell. I don't know why. I don't care why. Just know that it doesn't work. But this could be intensified. That's only a +1 to the spell. The reason you can be intensified is because that 1d8 of damage has nothing to do with it. It's this +5 maximum. Okay, so +1 point per caster level. That's your cue that usually you can intensify it, because it's a maximum at caster level 5. So you have level 5, it's +5. At level 20, it's +5. So if you intensify this spell, it would be a +10 at level 10. It'd be a +7 at level 7. You see that? So anything beyond level 10, it'd still be a +10. But remember, we have that other feat that allows us to make sure this is not a +5 anymore, that it's a plus whatever our caster level is. So again, we're at level 20, so we really are already intensifying this thing. So again, I would not grab the meta magic intensify. That's just my roundabout way of saying that. But these ones, again, would be amazing then as reach. Heal is amazing as reach. And the fact we can cast them and only burn up one use of it here and never burn up any of those is freaking baller. So I would never touch a healing spell. Once I get this thing, I would never touch a healing spell again unless it was the meta magic version of it, so that I'm never using that. Just leave that toggle running and never use the generic heals like this one. Use the reached version. And again, you can cast it on yourself. Just because it's a reach spell doesn't mean you have to shoot it at distance. It can still be a touch attack. It can still be boop on myself. So again, that's still fine. Just do not cast it from here. Yes, you'll use up a higher level casting, but so what? You have plenty of spells. And the fact that you can swift action that, still attack, or swift action this, and use a spell to attack, or buff, or whatever, is awesome. But this video's definitely gone on long enough. But I thought you guys would like this build. I love it even more now that I found that build out. And again, as just a final apology one last time for those of you that were paying attention or didn't catch the first part of this video. I had made the mistake on the free spells at level up that you can get if you have a what the hell is that damn thing called? Yeah, our favorite class, Oracle. The human, half-elf, half-orc, Aasimar, these are the ones that get the extra spells. And it looks like this is not just for Oracle, so that's awesome now that I know that. That could be something that could be particularly interesting then for other builds. I'll have to check to see if other builds get that too, because if like a Magus, like an Eldritch Scion gets that shit, ooh baby, that would be super sexy for me, because there's all kinds of spells that I'm missing out on in those builds, and I'd love to sacrifice a few skill points or HP just to get me another 17 spells. Yes, please. So I'm just saying, I'll have to check to see if it's an Oracle thing or if it's any kind of class that casts like this. But again, I just apologize for that. Again, you have to be of human stock. Human, half elf, half orc, an Aasimar, or a tiefling. Okay, halflings aren't considered humans or half humans, and obviously dwarves don't count either. Neither do gnomes or elves proper. Which is why if you went for the time mastery, and you have to be an elf, you will not get access to those free spells. So they still get plenty of cool shit, so they're not feeling bad in the least. Still have yet to make that build for you. That's coming soon. The next build will either be the dragon or the fire. Again, I'm saving the undead build with the monk dip specifically because that ancient lore keeper one is going to be amazeballs, and you guys are going to love it. But I want to keep you on the string just a little bit longer. But with that, my name is Brother Meat. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think about this build as a ranged attacker, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.